This is our Player of the Week analysis.
Yeah, it's KYP, know your personnel. You're out there with the 7-footer.
And Gassan with a defender on his hip will draw the foul.
Let's dive into the continuous motion rule. From the National Federation High School Rulebook, Rule 411. Continuous motion applies to a try or tap for field goals and free throws, but has no significance unless there is a foul by any defensive player during the interval, which begins when the habitual throwing motion starts, a try, which is going to be one of our key words, or with the touching on a tap, which is also going to be another one of our keywords. It ends when the ball clearly is in flight. If the opponent fouls after a player has started a try or tap for field goal, the player is permitted to complete the customary arm motion, and if pivoting or stepping when fouled, may complete the usual foot or body movement in any activity while holding the ball. These privileges are granted only when the usual throwing motion has started before the foul occurs and before the ball is in flight. And continuous motion, of course, does not apply if a teammate fouls after a player has started a try or tap for field goal and before the ball is in flight. The ball becomes dead immediately. Keep all this in mind when we go back and look at our play of the week. Let's revisit our shooting tap try rule from the National Federation High School Basketball Rulebook. Rule 4-41, shooting try tap. The act of shooting begins simultaneously with the start of the try or tap for field goal and ends when the ball is clearly in flight and includes the airborne shooter. Some of this sounds like it comes from the continuous motion rule. Now let's get to the heart of our keywords here about try and tap. A try for field goal is an attempt by a player to score 2 or 3 points by throwing the ball into a team's own basket. A player trying for goal when the player has the ball and an official's judgment is throwing or attempting to throw for goal. It is not essential that the ball leave the player's hand, as a foul could prevent release of the ball. That part is going to be very key in remembering that fouls could prevent the release of the basketball to go in flight. The try starts when the player begins the motion which habitually precedes the release of the ball, and it ends when the throw is successful, when it is certain that the throw is unsuccessful, when the thrown ball touches the floor, or when the ball becomes dead. A tap for field goal is the contact of the ball with any part of the player's hand in an attempt to direct the ball into the basket. A tap for field goal shall be considered the same as a try for goal itself, as in the rule that is stated 5-2-5. The tap for field goal starts when the player's hand touches the ball. The tap for field goals end in exactly the same manner as a try, which means the motion preceding the shot is the beginning of a try, and the touching of the ball by a player's hand is the beginning of a tap. Now let's take a look at our play of the week. We have a drive from lane 1 by our ball handler dribbler. He picks up the basketball, which is the end of his dribble, takes a couple of steps, and goes airborne to attempt a layup. During this process, prior to the release of the basketball, he is fouled by the secondary defender. Our lead official indicates no shot as the ball is being passed. Does that accurately describe what happens here? Let's take a look at this play again. We have a dribble. The dribble has now ended. Here's the first step, a second step. Player goes airborne as though he's attempting the layup and is fouled by the defender. Is this a try? Yes. Does continuous motion apply in this case? Based on Article 2 of the continuous motion rule, the player has started the motion and the try has begun. And based on this, he is allowed to continue this motion in order to complete the try. In addition to this, Article 2 of the shooting try tap rule clearly states that if a player is fouled during the try, that it is not essential that the ball be released, as the foul could prevent the basketball from being released. This clearly was a try by our ball handler dribbler, where continuous motion clearly applied. Our lead official incorrectly ruled that it did not apply. We should be shooting free throws.
This is our play of the week analysis.